Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Sandwich Museum, which I had fully forgotten about, which at least is vaguely reasonable given that it's been 2 weeks. Right then, before we go into the sandwich... Oh yeah, I'm still floating, aren't I? I'd slightly forgotten about that. This is a horse trough, although it's actually a water trough. I don't know why I said that other thing right now. Mainly because that's the proper way of describing it, but never mind. I've never been known for my proper speaking. Anyway, yes, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Shadows over Loathing. Some saddle shoes. They're called saddle shoes because they're like a saddle and they're worn directly underneath the butt. I guess that is kind of true of shoes, but I wouldn't say directly. Ride the ground like a horse. How precisely ridiculous does that look? I don't think that's how horses walk. I think that's more how a slightly itchy dog walks. But never mind. Let me go back to my slightly ridiculous vampire shoes, because at least they look kind of cute. And they stop my shoes getting dirty. Right then, yes, I should apologise for the break in the series. I'd forgotten you could do this. You can move this thing in and out. But never mind, enough about my bedroom life. Yes, I should apologise for the break in the series due to a throat infection that I'm still having the tail end of, but hopefully things will be better now. Anyway, we have a museum of sandwiches to explore and enjoy. Here is a gazebo. Indeed, is there no sign? Ah, yes. Sandwich gazebo, vagrants not welcome. Well, that is not very pleasant. I don't really think a vagrant would have much use for this gazebo, given it wouldn't really protect them from the wind, but never mind. What are these buckets? What is this all about? Traces of strange plant matter in these tubs prove that they were used to brewing all sorts of horrible potions. I get the distinct impression whoever set this museum up was not exactly chuffed about this locale or its previous inhabitants. We actually don't use this well for water, so please don't throw meat into it. Ah, the endless, disgusting connotations of the currency of this world. Never mind, what did this say? Yeah, I know that, I want to see what the sign said. This trough may have been used to bathe human sacrifices before the ceremony. We don't have any evidence of that, but it seems possible, so that's more than enough for us, which is sort of topical, but don't worry about that. The village of Sandwich was... Oh, it's not a museum of sandwiches, it's no. I'll begin to understand a bit better now. It was home to a terrifying witch cult until all the inhabitants were convicted and executed in witch trials in 1692. The village stood empty and uninhabited for hundreds of years. Explore the town, learn more. What else can we get out of here? I dread to think, to be quite frank, but how did you even get it on the hook? I think it's quite possible to hook meat on the end of a hook. I think that's kind of the whole point of fishing half the time, depending on the depending on the appetite of your particular prey. Increases your sleaze armor by 5. Despite what those Philistine fishermen think, these are for eating, not for throwing. Is that the weapon they used? Have I actually engaged in combat with any of those guys? I genuinely can't remember. Oh goodness, there are people here and a spooky cat. Hello, spooky cat. Could I read this, please? Thank you. No, I couldn't. You could have read it, but I couldn't. Goodness. How do you even pronounce that? Hecate? 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 Hecate, yeah, we're going to go with Hecate, because that's definitely correct, not in the slightest bit ridiculous. Is staring glumly at an empty dish. Can I give him something? Like the oyster I found, perhaps? Do cats eat oysters? Shelves laden with identical jars of off-white stuff. Please tell me this is a shop and not a sperm donation centre. This home was the residence of the Danforth family. Step inside to learn more. Danforth Residency has been converted into a gift shop for your convenience. Why not take home a jar of sandwich cream? That was the village's chief export, besides witchcraft and death. I don't really want any of your relish, thank you very much. What do you have to say for yourself? Nothing at all. Some rubbing paper. What the hell is rubbing paper? Quest item? That sounds kind of important. This special piece of paper is for making rubbings of historical graves and such like. Thanks to the advancements in rubbing technology, you don't need any charcoal or anything. Oh goodness. Let's not even go where my mind went, because that was an incredibly poor and rude joke. Okay, let's have that, because if it's a quest item, it's probably important. Alright, I don't seem to be able to converse with these people. What happened to this house? Seems like a fire happened. Putnam House, which was partially burned down under extremely witchy circumstances. Goodness, you have an enormous hat, my friend, and I approve of the girthiness of your accoutrement. Everything in this house was destroyed by fire, except for these two objects which were found concealed in a metal box. Oh dear, what are they? Some sort of talisman. There is an antique ragdoll displayed here. I'll take a look at it. The ragdoll has a bunch of old pins and needles stuck into it, and for some reason the word boring embroidered across its front. I see the local children who were playing Dolly were very discriminating. The little plaque on the front of the plinth says, witches frequently use special dolls called puppets to curse their enemies. This one was apparently made to target a Mr. or Mrs. or Miss Boring, although no one of that name is listed on the time records. Then there is tiny text at the bottom of the plaque. The pins were not found with the puppet, but were added for demonstratory purposes. I see, just connecting things that fit with your narrative. Alright, at least I understand that if I don't agree with it. An old book. It appears to be somebody's diary. Ah yes, the little description on the front of the plinth says, Diary of Delia Putnam. So that confirms that. Mostly it doesn't seem interesting enough to be worth deciphering the archaic handwriting and spelling, so you flip ahead to the last page. 6th of March, 1692. I hate that Peter Proctor so much. He thinks he can go around being as mean as he wants to everybody, just because he has lots of money and lives in a big house and all. I should have used a much stronger curse. It would have been worth trouble. Goodness, there's some very interesting similes to modern life in this town, which is curious, but never mind. The security guard is keeping a close eye on things here, which isn't very difficult since there's only two, and he does have two eyes after all, so he's not exactly outnumbered. Hello, and welcome to Putnam House. Please don't touch the exhibits. I kind of already have. I sort of touched the book a little bit. Sorry. Excuse me. Sorry, sir. I just get paid to stand here. I keep an eye on things. I don't actually know the first thing about any of the exhibits. Well, I suppose that's a bit of a silly idea. I can't ask about this rug of destruction. No, not the fireplace either. Alrighty then. Let's see what else we've got. We've got a church of some form, and then presumably this is the big house of Mr. Proctor. And there are various different outhouses here. Why have these ones been cornered off? What sort of demonic deuces were left in here? Sandwich boasted the country's very first tripartite outhouse. Please do not attempt to use it. It is very old. I am so going to attempt to use it. Please, please, I am desperate. No, never mind. A more modern convenience that has been provided for your modern convenience. Avail yourself of it. Oh, the three doors go to the same place. I can't tell if that's inefficient or just really silly. This facility has 3 sinks, and this is one of them, indeed. I can't go fishing in them, that is a tragedy. 1 toilet, and 0 privacy. Yes. Yes, it's still profitable, if nothing else. Right then, you don't have any interest in investigating the area downwind of that outhouse. Well, it should be a little less stinky now that I have not used it, but never mind. Let's investigate this church. Sandwich's church also served as an ersatz town hall, courtroom, racquetball court, and dark sorcery place. Ah yes, all of your standard Saturday afternoon conveniences. What have we here? Some sort of little easel or something. In 1692, the inhabitants of Sandwich were executed in the witch trials that were popular at that time, as evidenced by this old signpost announcing one such trial. Oh, that is what this is. This sign is written in tough black wax. Today is the trial of Patricia Williams, who stands accused. The rest of the sign is too withered and decayed to read. Well, I can imagine it said all sorts of mischief, like baking happy cookies and making extra little dolls for naughty children and all sorts of other horrid things that people seem to do. They also where the town's witches perform their horrific sacrifices. Note the blood stains! It's definitely not ketchup that I put there because we've run out of blood. An old and dilapidated church altar. There are some brown splodges on the corner that could possibly be bloodstains. I'm not wholly convinced by this. If I'd had to pay a fee to come in here, I would have believed that this was some sort of sandwich-related scam. The wealthy Proctor family owned the largest and most conveniently toilet-adjacent house in the village. I suppose that depends which way the wind is blowing. Righty then, what have we here? A little chess set. This chessboard has clearly been left out on display as an allegory for the battle between good and evil. Black is winning, representing a warning for the good-hearted people of Valiant against the encroaching forces of darkness. We're going to completely ignore the undertow of black being evil here and move swiftly on before I get shot. Ahem, is this fern particularly evil? The dried ferns have no historical significance. You're not funny. It's difficult to read puns without realising what they are first. There's no plaque on this table. It must have always been boring. Oh, perhaps this is what they were trying to curse with that puppet. According to country records, this is where the most expensive staircase in the country. They go up 1.5 floors. That seems mightily inconvenient. This Arius appears to depict several important ancestors of the Proctor family line, though due to the low resolution of the embroidery at the time, it is impossible to discern precisely who. What is the asterisk leading me to? It has been pointed out to us that this Arius is unlikely to have been manufactured in the capital of... I'm not even going to try and offend half the country by pronouncing that. Department of North of... Oh, that I'm really glad I didn't try and pronounce that, because I thought it was Spanish at first, not French. Therefore, it is merely a sparkling tapestry. I'm going to pretend I have the faintest idea what you're yammering on about. Alright, let us go up to the 2.5 floor. I thought we were going to get that screwy thing with the camera going up and down, so we'd only see half of it, but no such luck. The upstairs room are off limits while we catalogue the contents. Please pardon our dust. Why should I? You didn't pardon the mischief of any of the people around here, so I don't see why we should pardon you, Mr. Sign. This bedroom was traditionally given to servants, as it was felt by the proctors that it would lead to less of a tragedy if they got up in the middle of the night and fell down the stairs. Ah, classism. This one has 2 ropes in front of it. Mrs. Proctor's bedroom is especially off limits, while we figure out how to deal with the strange mould we found behind the wallpaper. Ah. That's the most reasonable reason for locking off a room I've ever seen in one of these museums. Mr. Proctor's bedroom. Why did they sleep in different bedrooms? Curious. Mr. Proctor's bedroom, home to the country's most extensive collection of cravats. Ah, that feels like a personal jab. This was the bedroom of Peter Proctor, the only child of Nicholas and Abigail Proctor. Oh, this must have been the boastful one. This was the Proctor's spare room, but they kept their spares of all the expensive things they owned. Ah, very fun. This room is not part of the tour, and also not part of the house. What is it then? I feel like I should be able to go into some of these rooms and actually investigate things. I feel like there is more to be seen. What do you think of this place? Make some small talk. This whole time-traveling deal is pretty mind-blowing. I'm not sure how to react to it. It's okay. Shame the past is such a flat tire. You're bored of time travel? No guns, no jazz, no dancing. We left the past behind for a reason. Well, yes. I suppose that's true, particularly when you think about things like advancements in modern medicine and civil rights. I'm not entirely sure how I'm gonna get down, but never mind. These stairs just keep going until they hit the wall. Seems like rich people are always having weird tastes. That reminds me of the Grantchester Mystery Mansion in Fallout 4 that had those staircases go into nowhere in order to confuse the ghosts. Even though I'm still not entirely sure how that actually achieves anything, since ghosts can kind of go through walls. So if they went up a staircase and there wasn't a door there, they could just float through the wall in order to get to the other side. So it would be totally useless. But never mind. That isn't the point. The point is that we have the graves of some short, fat people over here, and we have the graves of some tall, thin people over here. Right then. Welcome to Sandwich Cemetery. Please be respectful of the graves. Also check out how many of them were terrifying witches who were executed in the witch trials. Yeah, I'd be slightly surprised if any of them weren't. Alright, what about these ones? These ones seem relatively normal. Thomas Danford, or Danforth even, if I could read, what does this one say? Clarence Danforth, Teresa, Bartholomew, and Patience. Interesting. They didn't all die in 92. The front row died in 92, but the back row died a little earlier than that. Curious. Perhaps they were the parents, and this lot were like the lower generation of children. One doesn't know. There's some hobo writing here, and I'm probably not educated enough to read. No, I can just about manage it with my face. Oh, The code reads, hollow tombstone, possible treasure. You check inside the stone and there is indeed some treasure. A hat. What does this hat do? Plus 30% to meat drops. Oh, that's not really good enough to merit wearing the bloody thing, but I really want to. This thing is a solid gold hat band, and there is a tag inside that says, property of Satchel Duggins, but hope you're certain if you find it in a hollow tombstone or something. Let's just put it on for a while, because honestly, it looks silly and adorable, and it reminds me of home. Alright, what have we here? This is Nicholas Prockford, or Proctor even. He lived to be 230 years. That's most mysterious. Yes, all of these people are mid-1600s, and yet this one's a little bit fishy. I don't mean we should rip out our rod. This is Alicia Proctor, Abigail, Beatrice, and Peter. He was a doddy head until the very end, and I have no idea what you're talking about, but never mind. How very curious. There's something fishy going on there, but we should investigate that later. And these are the Putnams, indeed. Millicent, Delia, John, finding someone with a sensible name, and Joseph. This tombstone is covered in lichen. I'm going to sit here and pretend like I know what that is. This isn't the thing I need to use the rubbing paper on, is it? Oh no, of course, I don't think I use things in the inventory, do I? Sorry, I'm a bit out of practice. This, oh no, I've already read that, haven't I? Excuse me. Alright, what did this say? Proctor, our town founder, 1582 to 1644. Could that have been... No, that couldn't have been Nicholas. Were any of them born back in 1582? No, okay, that must have been a previous generation. Oh, they aren't buried here as well. Alright, well this is interesting, but it doesn't actually seem to involve anything to do, which is a little strange, but, Alright, that did not involve as much stuff as I thought it was. Let us go to the fairy lair and battle with some small miscreants. The cursed compass pulls you west and west-east, deep into the heart of the forest. Trees expand fast in size and number. All around you are trees, and additional trees. Until, like the popping of an elm, noise ceases and there is quiet. You are in a clearing. At the end is a long wooden table, and there sits an 8-foot skeleton in a mosey throne, wearing a crown of sticks and leaves. Sounds like Julius Caesar. The skeleton is immobile. They do tend to be that way, given their lack of musculature. Bound to his chair by vines and a drizzle of sap, its hands are a knife and fork. The dinner meal is on the table. I guess we're stealing the dinner. You got an item, shadow salad. Maybe that's just the appetizer, but you can't be waiting around much longer. Who knows what the service is like here anyway. It would be funny if it weren't so terrifying. Dear. This game does an interesting thing, especially, and West of Loathing did it as well, where it just has to describe things to you and you're left to use your own imagination in order to figure out precisely how unnerving these things are. In West of Loathing it was more about a ridiculous image, and this one is more about a spooky image. But never mind. Increases your mysticality by 1 and the damage of your magical weapons by 5. That may come in handy for something, or something else later. What under the sun is this beehive thing? It is a mess of twigs and sap in a fairy nest. Reach inside and retrieve a fairy knife. You fumble blindly around in the nest and find a knife, probably by puncturing your own hand with it. You pull the knife out of your hand flesh and stick it into your pocket. I'm glad we agreed with that. Okay, so this one's too small to use as a weapon, but I could perhaps chuck it at somebody. Speaking of weapons, this thing is presumably, yeah, very, very nearly dead. I didn't realise we could go down into decimals here. I thought, sorry, I clicked head with the game and it's OBS. I apologize. I should do something about that. Never mind. That might come in handy later. We'll get handsy with that later. In the meantime, let us engage in little violence. Right then, what have we here? We have somebody who looks like they're carrying a blunderbuss. They're a twig thumper, and they intend to thump me with a twig. I didn't exactly expect to read Old Lang's Eye to me, but never mind. A pin needler intends to jab. Anything else? Intends to explode. 3 damage to the entire party. That's pretty bad. I think we should begin, as so often we do in this world, with a saxophone of violence. I really must do something about upping my AP a bit more permanently. I really don't like having all of these disgusting things in my with those little knives, cause 3 bleeding damage for each turn. Maybe I should apply that to you. Yes, to puncture you. Oh, I thought we were going to throw it like a little throwing knife. Oh, okay, no such luck. Alright, well, never mind any of that then. Let's just, oh, I can't even throw a rock? Oh, throwing rocks requires AP as well? Oh, fiddlesticks, that isn't good. What happens if I'll probably kill her. What happens if my gun breaks completely in the middle of battle? Can it break in the middle of battle? And then I have next to no health because I took my frickin' hat off. But never mind. How much health do I have left? 5. That really isn't good. Okay, let me try and kill you. There we are. Okay, got a little bit of spray and damage on you as well. There we are, the healing as well. Oh dear. What? It was a kamikaze fairy? Those 2 words I never thought I'd stick into the same sentence. Okay, never mind. Squirrel cheese. The fairies keep squirrels the way we used to keep cows. One can only hope that someday they will face a similar reckoning. Oh, I'd love to read a history of the cows. Can I put my proper hat back on, please? As much as I do like this hat, I think it's important that I keep this one on for the sake of me not getting my arse kicked. Okay, what can we find in here? You gain a defect hat, did you? The nest contains nothing but garbage and a mousetrap, which snaps shut on your fingers. Oh no. Oh, I don't have many points. Is that please? How long does this last? I think this will just last for today, because it's an effect, not a perk, so that's alright. Speaking of perks and things, how much XP do I have? I have 150. I should probably get something then. What should I get? Something that increases my moxie, perhaps, because of the ranged weapon scores. An extra 5 HP would be good. Let's have this. Rhythm in your blood. Yes, indeed, and quite, thank you, mostly. What else do we have? We could get sharp eyes, +1 to moxie and the 30 meat drop. That would counteract the loss of my special hat. Or alternatively, I could get this. 2 ice as many minerals from gathering, +5 XP from gathering. Oh, that could be a good investment to have, and +3 physical armor would be good in battle as well. Stony Heart. You can relate to rocks on both an emotional level and them on being broken and being difficult to break in a half level. We shall definitely have that, for 'tis ridiculous. Alright, is there anything else that costs 50? I don't think so, so we shall have to wait then for the time being. Okay then, we should be a bit better prepared for a wee bit of battle. More belligerent fairies. None more belligerent than usual, just more of them. Would you kindly stop thrusting your hips at me and ejecting objects in my direction that I'm not massively enthused about? Right. We have another twig thumper, we've a gun mother, we've another pin needler, and a whackadoo. What the hell is a whackadoo? It is either going to heal everyone on the battlefield or deal 6 damage to them. You sound like a massive pain in my neck. When you say you'll heal everyone on the battlefield, that presumably includes me. I don't know, but I'm going to begin with my classic saxophone. Because, you know, I like to be consistent in these things. What else could I use? Do I have any other sort of things I can throw at people? Yeah, these are to just decrease their stats and stuff, but anything that just wallops them. No, I can't use that because we're not here. Restores 3 action points, that would be pretty good. Or I could do a bit more stabbing. What's the difference between these ones? That's the fairy knife. And that's the... Oh no, I was thinking, this is the fairy knife that I wanted to use. I was using something different earlier that I didn't even know what it was. I want to stab, you. Here's a throwing knife. This is much better than what I thought it was. Right then, let me get rid of you. Good, it's the end of you. Now, I want you to shoot, yeah, that one, because I want to, Well, I did want to see what was going to happen with the wackadoodle, but turns out it didn't quite happen. Never mind, we'll have an encounter with a wobblyjack later. A fairy skull wand on earth is this. Deals your mysticality plus 3 in spooky damage. This tiny wand is tipped with a fairy skull, which is like a human skull, except it's only about an inch in diameter. Oh, that's kind of dinky and adorable. Some fairy dust. It's weird that such a vile creature can have such nice dandruff. Ew. That's disgusting. You're not sure what those fairy twig thumpers do with these things, since they are way too big for their tiny little fairy hands. Makes any weapon into a melee weapon, which will use your muscle to determine its damage. That's interesting. That could be useful if you were a muscle-based character, for you could like take a strong magical weapon or a strong gun and make it better suited for your class. Why is there a wooden man of spookaliciousness here? This thing is horrible. It must be meant to scare humans away. Oh, take it back to your room. Wait, seriously, you want to take this obviously evil, extremely ugly statue back to your room, the room where you sleep? Yeah. You're not going to be able to drag it out of here with the fairy still running in there. You make a decent pragmatic point, but for some reason I take a total leave of my senses. Why am I doing this? Oh, goodness, this must be the home of one of the wealthier fairies. Okay, so there is a bit of a risk and reward system going on here. Okie dokie then, a lot of fairies gardening this nest. There must be something good inside. Oh dear. Please stop making that physical gesture. The question is why one of the instruments of this soundtrack is a Morse code machine. Can you hear that? And by Morse code machine I mean a telegraph, but never mind. Let's add a saxophone to it because that'll be less confusing for me. Let's see, what else could we do? Let's throw another knife at them. I rather enjoy doing that. So do you, for you're a bit too strong. What? Conjure up a mushling to assist in beating you up. That does not sound in the slightest bit pleasant. Are you another wackadoodle? Yeah, I'm going to leave the wackadoodle alive because I want to test it. Test its ability, test its luck. See precisely what it can do. I suppose I should have predicted that when you said a mushling, but never mind. What exactly does this do? Will crash into Molly for physical damage. Well, I kind of want to see the animation for that, so I'm not going to shoot you. I still am, because this gun has the accuracy of a kitty. You do not hang around. Okay, and now it's raining jam. Oh, excellent. We're still going to make the sex around. Never mind. Access to the undoubtedly wonderful nest is now yours. The question is, whose criteria are we defining wonderfulness under? The fairies or mine? I am vibrating with nest-related excitement. Oh dear, what horrors await within, I dread to think. Oh, it's full of rocks. Inspect them with my psychogeological brains. You gain some powerful grit and an impenetrable shellac. Some shellac comes from insects, but you don't know that it can come from basically anywhere. I don't even know what it is, for crying out loud, let alone where the hell it comes from, but never mind. At least we're getting experience for that now, which will allow me to get more perks. Alrighty then, let us engage in further violence. Thinking about it, the effect of the wackadoodle is essentially meaningless. Because either they heal everybody, or they hurt everybody, but it's like it's even on the battlefield. It doesn't put any one side at an advantage compared to the other. So why would we worry about it? Never mind, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to be able to kill you in one shot. I can kill you in one shot. Although I do kind of want to see the little mushroom guy again. Oh yeah, I kind of want to see the little mushroom guy again. I don't know, it's sort of cute. Let me get rid of you, I suppose, for no good reason. There we go. Oh yeah, you're one of the kamikazes, aren't you? I'd forgotten about you. Let's see, let me get rid of you, because you're going to do quite a lot of damage. I don't know, there are some benefits to that kind of weapon. I want a bit of spray. Oh, you're doing that. Kitty, you really haven't learned your lesson yet, have you? Neither have I. I always forget. Every single time I forget. It is unbelievable. Never mind. I have no idea what I was talking about. I have a memory the length of a fairy skull wand. Indeed. Let's just move swiftly on from this horrific place. Hey, Bark, over here. What is the ups, my friend? I don't know. I cannot converse with you. This is the berries. I ain't got in this many fights in ages. You don't do a lot of fighting for the mob. Well, they're all wet. Give me an earful about shooting out a place been bad for business. I'm glad you're enjoying yourself. Okay, so she's got built for upgrade. This is good. A castanet ring. Aren't castanets those little sort of clicky things that are used in some forms of music? I'm not entirely sure what types. I think possibly Spanish. I could be mistaken. These miniature castanets on the ring add a jaunty little bit of percussion whenever you shake your hands. Jazz hands also increases your muscle and mysticality by 3. Oh, what does my jazz hands currently do? I have absolutely no idea. This increases your moxie by 5. Oh, I should be using that more, because that would actually be really beneficial at the beginning of fights, but I keep constantly and wholeheartedly forgetting it. Okay then, I guess we're going to drag this huge, ridiculous thing. No, we're going to deal with this first. Oh dear. You stick your hand in the hole, grab the first thing that your fingers brush against, and yank it back out. Let's not even talk about the connotations. You grab an item, Shadow Mead. The shadowy pocket vanishes with an otherworldly pop. Increases your meat draws by 70%. This is excellent. Alrighty then. I guess we're taking this crazy thing back with me. Yeah, I guess we're doing this. You drag the horrible sculpture to a bus stop. A bus arrives but refuses to pick you up because of the horrible sculpture, I mean. You spend the next few hours dragging it back to your room. That reminds me of once when I went to buy a trouser press and had to huff it halfway across the city, but never mind. You hang the cow skull over your desk. If anybody asks, you'll tell them you killed the cow yourself. Indeed. Kitty Hart. Oh dear. Okay, were we finished back then or not? Just looking at this thing makes you bad. Prepare to fight it! You get in effect fairy fisticuffs. Oh dear, you duck and weave, bob and swat. Are you shadowboxing, or are the shadows boxing you? You're all charged up with violent fairy magic, +3 to melee weapon attacks. That would be useful if anyone was using bloody melee weapons, but never mind. What's this little box? I don't remember it being here. Someone was giving you a nightstand, and there was a briefcase with a note on top of it. Take one, and choose the other. Hopefully don't try to read the briefcase. The quality of your work at the distillery has been noted as excellent, and we will contact you in a telephonial manner with further opportunities. And a briefcase full of meat. Ew. That's disgusting. Can I open the briefcase full of meat? Like a cow, this briefcase is flesh surrounded by leather. Unlike a cow, it has brass latches and a handle. Well, horns could be considered handles if you're brave enough. You gain 300 meat! Excellent. This is absolutely spiffing. Kitty, on how hoarse my voice is getting, even though we've barely begun, is less so. Are you stretching, or are you trying to grab my attention? Got something I might find handy. Finally found the time to check out the door behind me. Turns out there's a bricked up passageway there. It leads to the knobbly bobbly. See, I knew that was the case. I had my suspicions. Leave without mentioning it. Indeed. And now I can go directly to the knobbly. This place gets weirder and weirder the longer I stay here. Alright, I believe I have some various different drinks here that I need to give you. Oh yeah, I'm the owner now, aren't I? Which means I kind of get paid for stuff around here, even though I haven't done anything. The excellences of dividends. Right then, I have found some booze. Right, sorry about that. Had to engage in minor coughing fit. I found a case of rum, a little bit of the old island nectar. I also found some gin. This will gin arms and more business, for sure. Excellent, we now have lots of various different options that we can have. Nothing ventured, nothing gained, including no hangovers. Righty-ho then, let us notice these people have changed. They used to be the fish-faced folks. The groundskeeper from Goldwaith Park and the jokes and gag sales from Mrs. Brewster's are chatting about something. Listen in. And so then, when they bend over the water fountain to take a drink, boom! Huge spritz of pressurized water right in the face. It is a clever part, see? It only happens once every 20 or 30 times the button is pressed, and nobody ever expects it. Even if it's happened to them before. That is pretty funny. Wait, let me show you the diagrams for what I call a whoopee park bench. You'll love this. It's always a good feeling to see two people hitting it off so well. That's nice. I have no idea what I should still be doing. Never mind. Let me get the hell out of here before A, we go deaf, and B, we go drunk. Okay. Ooh, I don't think I have any side quests, so I think I'm pretty much done with the area around the lake. I think we did pretty much everything there. Do I still have the cursed compass? Yes, I do. This should not be followed, and yet we did. Does the cursed compass lead me anywhere around here, do you think? I keep encountering these poor fellas, and there ain't nothing I can do about helping them. This is making me feel slightly terrible. One of the tin lizards flags you down. Hey boss, my trusted lieutenant, Gilded Zinc. Close enough. What is the ups? We got proceeds from the last shipment of found parts we sold, and after overheads and taxes, this is your cut. You paid taxes? Well, I mean, we pay taxes? Gotta keep up appearances. Don't want the feds breathing down us our necks, right? That seems sensible, if only Al Capone said the same thing. I don't know why I say that, as if I want Al Capone to have not been caught for tax crimes, but never mind. Alright, let us call the mob phone. You dial the number. Don Toblerone verbalizing. It's me. Splendiferous. Kudos on your triumphal completion of our previous assignment. You're welcome. Is that all? In fact, I have another item of business to be attended to, which I believe to be suited marvelously to one of your skills. Which one, more specifically? No, I mean, well, regardless. Oh, you mean one of my skill? Oh, as in one person of my skill set, not as in one specifically. Never mind. We need you to return to the Crystal Dream Lake, wherein there is located a purveyor of tools and implements of construction. You might vernacularize it as a hardware store. You can't run out of cement or something. We have necessitude that you will perform upon this place of business in what we characterize as a shakedown. You see meat? No, we are merely delirious that the local commercialist retail emporium feel a measure of intimidation. I guess I can handle that. I cannot handle the verbiage, but never mind. I guess we need to return there then. Okay then, can I go to the bus stop, please? Yes, please. I should like to go back to the lake so that we can return to the hardware store. That's a shame. I rather like the fella at the hardware store. He was nice, even though he didn't hire me an outhouse, even though I very specifically and politely asked for one. You see a familiar-looking person heading towards you on the path. As they get nearer, you realize that the reason he looks familiar is because he looks exactly like you. Am I walking into a mirror? Greet him. Hello, are you a clone? Is this a time paradox or what? Turns out it's a time paradox, I guess. Wow, this is crazy. I agree, high five. The two of you, literally speaking, engage in a friendly high five. Kiss him goodbye, wish him good luck, or walk away hurriedly. Let's not even go anywhere near the third one and rub moustaches and say, good luck, we should get going. Yes, me too. Good luck. Yes, me too. Oh, I'll have to remember that one. You did. Oh. I just have to remember it for later. Man alive, this place is freaking weird. Never mind. Do you think it's going to record what options I said? And later on, I might encounter myself again, or before, perhaps I should say, to then hear those same responses. I don't know, but that would be sort of cool. Propose a shaking. There needs to be a whole lot of shaking going on in here. I've been asked to shake up some of your merchandise. Come again? There are some mob guys who want to intimidate you for some reason. They sent me here to shake things up, or down, something like that. Ah, well, some of those cans of paint over there could do with a good shaking. I ain't got around to it for a while. That sounds good. Can't say I feel particularly intimidated, though. I should like to shake these cans, please. You give all of these cans a good shaking. The bravata nods and thanks. Can I shake other things? Can I engage in the shakitude of other objects that are located within these premises? No, okay. Have I finished my shakedown? Is that literally it? Yes. Yes, that is literally it and involves the grand total of my life. Okay, what's that big stone? I don't remember that being here. Never mind. It doesn't matter. Okay then, let's wander and see if we find anything of interest or curiosity. Ooh, a Valley Crystal shop. That sounds exciting. Let's go there and see what we find. Other than crystals, one would presume. One would hope, otherwise we're going to have to invoke the Trade Descriptions Act and get this place shut down. Let me shove my arm into this infinite anus again. Oh, good. You stick your hand into the hole and grab the first thing your fingers brush against, which tends to be a load of funny leaves and sauce. Indeed. I still feel rather suspicious about all of this. Never mind. Let's go inside this very small shop and see what is here. The answer to that is nothing. Nothing at all. What do you sell here? What do you think? Invisible crystals? Nothing? You're dead right, ain't you? And that's funny, don't you think? Because you'd think we'd sell a crystal store next to a crystal mine. We'd sell crystals. Please, you're using too many italics and I can't focus. I'm also far too ill to be able to read properly anyway, but never mind. I would assume that, yes. Let me tell you a little story of a young woman whose name is me. Oh, I like a good story, please. My parents wanted me to go straight into college, so that's what I did. But college girls, they're only thinking about one thing, getting a degree so they can work in a mine. I ain't like regular girls. I want to sell the things that come out of a mine. Such as gases and such like. So I dropped out and moved across 13 states to the best crystal mine in the country. But when I arrived, the mine went out of business, and now so am I, for I even got started. Oh dear. I missed the part where you wanted to sell crystals specifically. My name is Crystal. What does it mean you have to sell crystals? Yeah, but it means I got fewer nouns to keep in my head. There is an odd degree of sense to that, and for a man who isn't very good with words, that would perhaps give me a good idea of what I should do with my life. Would you like me to check out the mine, see if I can mend things? Yeah, break me off a couple of crystals, you're thinking? I'm not asking you to clear out the whole mine, man, but with just a few crystals, I can afford to send some of my whole sorority down there. I shall see what I can do. There's nothing on these shelves. Not a crystal in sight. Indeed. This is less than excellent, but never mind. Where's this mine? Oh, good, here it is. Excellent. I was a bit worried that we wouldn't know where it was. The cursed compass needle twitches to life, if you can call it living, and thrusts its pointy head urgently south. Please don't thrust your pointed head anywhere near my southern areas. It leads you to the trunk of an ancient tree. Though the trees may have once stood proudly in the days before cities and men, it is now infirm, wizened, and dribbling a sweet-smelling sap from 1,000 little holes. There's not much left of the old guy. Drain the tree of its final degrees of sap. Some shadow milkshake. That is absolutely disgusting. This is what you'd get if instead of a soda jerk, your local cafe employed a soda nihilist. I'm going to pretend I've got the faintest idea what you're talking about and carry on my journey. Right then. Gumbuckle Mine's office. Let's use the crowbar and bust our way inside. Indeed, we haven't been in the mine in a great deal of time. It will be curious to see what we can find within. At least we're not another meat mine. They literally are very enjoyable tunes this time, rather than my usual sarcasm. This filing cabinet is newer than the rest of the furniture, but it's still pretty wrecked. Let's see what we can find inside. Some flip-file flip-flops. Of course. Just some shoes. They probably made sense to somebody at some point. What do? Make your steps more organized. This should look ridiculous. How does that make any sense? Never mind, it doesn't matter. Let's just put these back on, because for some reason this is the least ridiculous one we found, even though it's the least walkalicious one we found. There's nothing on the desk apart from an old pink slip. Let's read it. The reason for termination is listed as shirking of elevator maintenance duties. Oh, I'm going to have to amend that before I go down, aren't I? The coat rack is bare. It's also more of a hat stand than a coat rack, because it doesn't have, it's not on the wall, but never mind. I really haven't learned my lessons, right? This isn't proving out to be as dangerous as I thought it would be. I really would have thought that my arm would have disappeared into another region by now. This cabinet is securely locked. Perhaps I can find a key. The little radio is playing some big band music, and I am thoroughly enjoying it. What do we have here? Another of these weird doors. Can we slip through into the past? Ah, perhaps this is back when the mine was functional. It's a 1906 calendar. What else do we have other than a spooky birdcage? An empty birdcage. They must have run out of canaries. Oh, yeah, this actually seems like a very reasonable reason to have a birdcage as opposed to just being a crazy, crazy person. This version of the cabinet is unlocked. How excellent. Unfortunately, this is a version of the cabinet which is also empty. Well, fiddlesticks. There's a jacket hanging on the coat rack, which I guess actually makes it a jacket rack. But never mind. Is there a specific difference between a jacket and a coat? I must look that up. You can item the Gumbuckle Mine Cabinet Key. Oh. Perhaps I can use this to open the version of the locker which is locked, but also has a thing within it. Other than air, that is. Indeed, in the past. Is this going to function? Perhaps yes, perhaps no. I do want to go and have a look at the cabinet first and see if we can unlock it. Here we are. Click. You open the cabinet and gain a can of elevator grease. The cabinet is empty, save for a can. It is labelled elevator grease, so don't go thinking you can use it to lubricate a ramp or a staircase or a funicular. I thought you said a fornicator at first there, which would have been a vaguely reasonable use of lubricant, but never mind. Okay, so I could grease it. It's too far gone for grease to help at this point. You really hope that somebody got fired for doing such a terrible job of taking care of this elevator. In fact, we know this because of our lack of correct temporal ordering, and I'm not just talking about the frickin' time travel. Okay, let's give it a good greasing. A squirt here, a dollop there, and kapow! Again with the analogies to masturbation, can you please end it? This thing will run like a charm for at least 22 years. Why am I guessing we've gone 22.01 years into the past? I didn't realise that these floating shoes were going to make my lantern push up there, but never mind. This support beam is lousy with termites. Is that what the little dots are? I actually thought it was a cactus at first. I think they are termites because they're moving ever so slightly. So that is of interest. Alright. This table is bare except for a note reading IOU 1 helmet. This cabinet is labelled dynamite storage and is extremely locked. It is, isn't it? They look like combination locks as well, so I shan't be looking for a key. Here is a very big rock with a little hole in it. A very large and oddly spherical rock with a small hole drilled into it. Shine your flashlight inside. Your flashlight reveals sparkly coloured crystals inside. It's a geode. Oh. That's nice. How the hell do I get it open? Presumably with some dynamite, though I have no baldies how to manage that. I can't go this way, can I? There is no way you're wandering off into that temporal abyss. Alright, so I need to find a way of unlocking this so that I can get some dynamite in order to blow this up, in order to get the crystals out, in order to give them to Crystal. Alright. That seems vaguely reasonable, though I have no idea how to actually achieve that. Because I can't access the mine in the present. No, I can, because I went back and fixed it before it got broken, because that makes sense. That way is completely blocked off with fallen debris. Alright, what do we have here? This little crack. Absolutely nothing. This way is also blocked off. I suppose it's technically a mine-in rather than a cave-in. I think it means more cave as in the verb to cave, meaning to collapse inwards, rather than the noun cave as in a gap in the rock, but never mind. this is still a pickle. We haven't actually achieved anything here, other than realizing that I am still rather inebriated with illness. Okay, so what exactly am I to do then? I can access it in both time periods, but I can't actually do anything in either of them because everything... If there was a cave-in in the future, it must be because this support beam gave out. If we could get rid of the termites, it might survive into the future. But I presumably don't have what I need, otherwise it would let me use it. So I need to find some sort of anti-termite stuff. Can I... You don't know when you are, much less where you are. Okay, so opening the map was a bit of a dumb idea. That means I need to look for some sort of anti-termite. Anti-termite meds. I have the strangest... I am doing this all wrong. That's better. I remember being a termite inspector in the past for the hardware store. Perhaps if I return there and go back into the past, I can ask him if he's got anything for dealing with termites, even though I should, because I'm the termite inspector, but never mind. I'm not a termite exterminator, mind you. The cursed compass pulls you west and west-east deep into the heart of a forest. Hang on, haven't we already said this before? Yes, we have. Goodness, I'm gonna have to talk about Caesar and his salad. Okay, you don't have anything, termite poison indeed. I wish regulatory agency maybe stopped selling it a few years ago because it was quote-unquote killing everyone that used it. I guess it was more of an everything poison. Wicked for termites though. I was glad of anything else. Can I have a candy? You know what I do, but you also know that I just gave you some. Don't be greedy. Okay, that does seem fair enough. I guess I can't steal it. Can I go back into the past when the regulatory agency hadn't come along and spoiled all our fun? And get some there. Oh, no I can't. Can I buy it here? No. How can I obtain some then? There must be some somewhere. The shelf is laden with dangerous pesticides you're pretty sure were banned years ago. Among them is a mason jar filled with an oily brown liquid with a handwritten label reading, termite poison. What is this, please? How much is this? 100 bitcoins to make, please. Goodness, prices were cheaper back then. You buy the pesticide and place it very carefully inside your sack. You gain an item, Thermoblast termite spray. Mind you don't get any of that on your skin, and don't breathe the fumes, and don't pour it down any drains or rivers or otherwise let it get into the groundwater, and if the jar starts to melt, get it into a fresh jar straight away. Okay, thank you for your help, you have been most useful to me. Okay, well I'm actually shocked this has gone as well as it did, so let me return back to the mine and see if we can use this in order to reinforce the support beam. Some red cola, Someone set up a little lakeside refreshment stand here, although it's abandoned state, it doesn't look like there's been much refrigeration. Someone has set up a little lakeside refreshment stand here, although from its abandoned state, it doesn't look like there's been much refreshing going around here for a while. Also, depending on when you get this random encounter, it might not be particularly near the lake, maybe that's why. There is a meat-operated red cola cooler here, which still looks to be in working order. Increase your maximum health by 5. Drink it for your country. Yes, it funds war bonds or something. Check the meat return slot. I got it for free. You drop your meat into the slot and turn the crank. Please don't actually do that. A&E is very busy this afternoon, and I don't think they have a spot available to deal with your crushed meat. The door pops open, granting access to your prize, such as it is. It is a shame that the war prompted the soda companies to start putting their drinks in cheap tin cans instead of the nice glass bottles they used to. They taste much better that way. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if anybody's actually done any testing on that, as to see whether the object that you drink something out of has any effect on the taste. I seem to remember reading or hearing about some sort of study or investigation that was testing whether sort of tea or coffee was different depending on whether you drank it out of something glass, like sometimes fancy coffee is given, or out of a mug, like tea is generally given. I am not sure. Let me hose it down with the chemicals whilst holding my breath. Indeed, I really shouldn't be standing this close to it, given all of the horrific chemicals. Right, apologies for that. We had a 22-year jump cut there where I was having another small cough fit. Alrighty then, let us see if now this place is in slightly better nick. Indeed, it may be old, but at least it's not full of termites. Here we have the helmet, this could come in handy. A mining hat, indeed, plus 2 to your physical armor. It does have a light on it as well, which is a bit cool. This, an extremely enthusiastic rat has chewed a hole into the solidly locked solid steel cabinet. That is enthusiasm I did not normally expect to notice from Rodentia. Oh, giddy. You root around the cabinet and manage to find a stick of dynamite within arm's reach, a 22-year-old stick of dynamite. This doesn't seem in the slightest bit dangerous. Luckily, you found this instead of a 44-year-old stick. That would get really dangerous when they're that old. Yes. Now the question becomes, do I want to get the crystals now, or do I want to get the crystals in the past? Let's see if I can go into the past and use the dynamite there, or whether I'm only able to make use of that here. Let us see what we can do. An awful lot going up and down today, haven't we? Right then, let's see if we can use the dynamite over here. Yes, yes indeed. I don't know what to do. Should I get old crystals or should I get new crystals? I don't know. I feel like if I get the old crystals, I'm gonna sort of take all of the crystals before crystals actually here, and it'll turn into like a self-fulfilling prophecy, where it will always go out of business because I take all of the crystals too soon. So I feel it perhaps would be wiser to take the modern ones, given that those will be more well attuned to the current consumer base of demand, or some such marketing rubbish I don't understand. Okay, I'll stick of dynamite in the hole, light the match, and run away! Or float away, I suppose. Oh. You've seen some disappointing explosions in your life, but that one really failed to even make a dent in the cake. This rock must have made a tougher stuff than that relatively fresh stick of dynamite can handle. Oh. Oh. Okay. If I go back into the past with this stick of dynamite, it's still going to be 22 years old, though, isn't it? Because, I mean, I don't get 22 years younger when I come in here, unless I've just had this moustache longer than I realise. But let me see if I have any more success doing this. Has the dynamite changed? No. Well, it says 44-year-old stick. Suppose I took the 22-year-old dynamite stick, I left it in the past, on the table, I then went back into the future, it would then be 44 years old, and then maybe I could blow it up then. Can I leave it on the table? No, but I can leave it in the rock, and I've no matches. Blast. Actually, no, we can't blast, because we've no matches. Never mind. Let me at least test my theory that this is now a 44-year-old stick of dynamite before we go in search of a match. What can we see? This extremely old stick of dynamite is sticking out of the hole. It is practically squirting nitroglycerine. Okay, I'm going to wander and hope that I encounter my matchman again. Grace's compassionate pet store. I mean, naturally. As you're walking down a dirt road towards your destination, you catch a whiff of dog food. As you turn your head towards the source, it turns out to be a pet store. Okay, I would like to go and explore that, but I also need my matchman. You see a familiar... Oh no, here we are again. You see a familiar-looking person heading towards you on the path. As you get nearer, you realise that he looks so familiar because he is exactly you again. Oh dear, I apologise about the number of jump cuts. I did wonder about not recording this week again for the sake of this illness, but I did want to try anyway. This is nice. I should get going. Good luck. Oh, no, yes. That's correct. I'm glad to see that I can put it in the future. Let me go to the hardware store. I doubt they were selling matches, but it's worth the it's worth the look. What? The future. I have done way too much freaking time traveling in this wacky world of ours. The future version of you strolls up to you and has you a fat wad of meat. He knows the future version of you, not the past version of you, because you don't remember doing this yet. Here, take this meat. Technically, I guess I should be repaying it to the future me, but that's me now, so you'll have to do. What are you talking about? What's the point in giving me meat if I have to give it back later? You'll be making more meat. You're making meat more easily later on, so this won't seem like as much then. Just think of it as a no-interest loan. On the contrary, I am most interested. For crying out. He rolls his eyes at you. Sheesh, Fuji, you is a jerk. Yeah, after a few more years of terrible recording sessions, I could imagine I get a bit more bitter. Don't forget to pay you back, or the universe will probably explode or something. Okay, I'll try to do that, probably, hopefully. You don't have any matches, do you? You do! Thank goodness for that. Okie dokie then, let us return to the mine and have another go at collecting these crystals for this crystal. Oh, for crying out. A squirrel chatters angrily at you from a nearby hollow rock, presumably trying to scare you away from its stash. A real tactical mistake on its part, since you now know where its stash is. It scampers away and you peer inside the hole, and you find not just the expected nuts, but also several wallets. Has a squirrel been mugging hikers? Maybe you should get out of here before it comes back with a knife. Maybe one of those little pixie knives that we saw before. Alrighty then, now I have my match, which means I am more than equipped to blow this place to Kingdom Come. Or possibly Kingdom Past, judging by the temporal ordering of the locale. Okay, let's have another go at this. That was a surprisingly successful whistle. I'm usually not that good at it. You've blown the crystal open, exposing a huge variety of crystals. You should let Crystal know about the crystals at her crystal store. Crystalicious. A shroom cave. I seem to remember we had one of those in West of Loathing as well, if I remember correctly. Off to the side of the dirt road, you see a little trail of mushrooms. You follow it for a while and find that it leads to a cave whose mouth has been choked by mushrooms. Those things are bad for you. Yeah, and we'll leave them well enough alone for the time being and come back to them another time. I've sorted everything out. Break over anything expensive? Yes, in fact, I did. You did? Well, that's just great. Hang on a minute. She leaves and comes back in an hour with 2 big armloads of crystals. You said a minute, not 60 of them. Just give me a couple of hours and I'll give you a fully functional crystal shop now. Or what should I do in the meantime? I've got some more magazines here somewhere. Here they are. Read magazines for a few hours. Did I gain any perks or anything? You spend a while reading. It's mostly op-ed pieces about political scandals from 20 years ago. But you manage to learn a thing or two. Oh, okay. I suppose that's sort of useful. I do have a vague interest in reading that sort of thing, but it tends to be a bit hit and miss in my experience. Crystal eventually taps you on the shoulders. All set now, don't suppose you'd like to make a purchase. This magazine is fascinating. Did you hear about the sketchy land grants in Oregano? In Oregon? Oregano. Unless I'm mistaken, oregano is a spice. I believe it's pronounced oregano in the United States, for reasons I still don't understand, but never mind. I'm watching too many cookery programs. I remember my grandparents talking about it. Boy, that mutual hot and sneaky snake. Anyway, I got you a little something to say thanks. I was going through the crystals. I found a small one. I wouldn't be able to sell for much. I thought of you. Because I'm small and unsaleable, without any value or worth or reason for keeping around. Alright then. Twinkling crystalline statue. This is a quest item. You remember when the very idea of this crystal was no more than a twinkle in crystal's eye? What else have you got to sell me? Cracked crystal orb deals your muscle in physical damage once per fight. A crystal chili per necklace with 3 hot armor. Crystal heart necklace for 3 sleaze armor. Crystal pickle necklace. Why are so many of these things food related for stench armor? A crystal skull necklace, that's pretty cool. A crystal snowflake necklace for 3 cold armor. Or heals your party for your entire mysticality, or heals yourself for twice your mysticality. Those sound pretty cool and exciting. Why do you have 100 of those? Why do you need 100 of those? Surely I only need to buy 1. It's not a consumable. Never mind, I don't suppose I need to. Oh, this place is livened up a bit. Oh well, I'm glad to see that I have been useful in the establishment of local businesses, but never mind. So this is a quest item then. What do I need it for? I don't know. Is this where my sort of necklaces go? Yeah, I kind of like having this, but it's not much used in combat, is it? What's my current offhand item? That's my unpleasant hymnal, which admittedly I'm not using very much, so I might get one of the ones that does a lot of healing. Such as this. The entire party, or me for double. I mean, my mistake is only probably like 4 or 5, so I feel like that's not much use. So I'm going to have the silvery one, please. I should like to have this, please. Thank you very much. I should like to swap this out for this. Thank you very much. What is my mysticality? It's 3, so that gives me 6 health. That's pretty good, and most of my healing items are consumable, so it would be good to have one that doesn't drain away bloody. Okay then, we've got a few minutes left. Let's go to the pet store, I suppose, and see what we can find. You find some spider webs stretched across your path. As you move to brush away them, you notice some runic patterns woven into the webs. Is it spider writing? Well, we've got no idea because I don't have enough brain in order to work it out. But never mind, there's some bees here. Hello, bees. It's one of those boxes full of bees. A bee box, you think it's called. I didn't actually think that's what it was called, but never mind. Let us see what we have got around here. Smart of Greta to sell compassionate pets instead of indifferent ones. I suppose that makes some semblance of sense. This is nice. This is very relaxing. I'm not actually seeing any pets, but never mind. What do you think about this place? What do you think about this strange place? There ain't any big spiders in these woods, are there? I hope not, but since you've mentioned them, probably yes. Ain't that just dandy? You don't like spiders? They're hard to shoot on account of them being all running around and skittery like. I couldn't agree more. Alright then, I don't seem to be able to interact with these plants other than observing additional, good fronds I'll always get the other kind. Never mind, here is a cat. A scrawny looking cat is asleep here. Hello, Greta, may I presume? Welcome to Greta's Companion Pet Store. I am Greta. Hello, Greta, may I ask you a question? Of course. Where are all the pets? Other than the mouse and the cat and the plant? They're out back in cages. No, in the woods. What's stopping them from leaving? Compassion. Of course. Can I buy one? I have a snake available for adoption. I've also a giant mosquito. Oh gosh, why do you have to feed them? Oh, you don't need to worry about regular food. They'll graze or scavenge or whatever. They're very... Oh, do you think this is like another companion, like the turtle? That's very convenient. If you want to soup them up a bit, though, make them really beefy, I would sell you some specially formulated familiar chow. I'm a little uncomfortable with the use of words like soup and beef in a pet store, but okay. What about the, what can you tell me more about the special chow? I have 3 bags of it left. It is formulated to beef up your buddies. Would you like a bag? Just 100 meat. Not right now, please. They're not massively useful to me. What's up with this massive mosquito? Hey, don't knock it. A mosquito is great to have on your side in a fight. Not only can they suck the blood out of stuff, they can also pump that blood into you to heal you and give you several diseases in the process. Mathematically speaking, that's twice the power. And half the life expectancy, and 150 adoption fee, and it's all yours. How about the snake? You can't go wrong with the world's most dangerous rope. This guy will totally fill your enemies with poison. Just 150 meat. I guess I should buy something. Alright, we'll buy a snake. You won't regret it, unless you make it mad. Now you just need to name your numbers. Oh no, I'm really bad at naming things and coming up with jokes for names, and I know that you need to name everything in this game as a joke. So, I had my inspiration for the Nobbly Bobbly, but I actually can't think of anything for the Slithery D. Yeah. Given do you know what, I think we'll actually stick with Slithery D, because, oh no, thank you, I can't remember how to spell it. I think we should stick with that for no particularly good reason, in that if I try to come up with something myself, it will probably be even less funny, and at least that is vaguely suitable. I used up all of my naming abilities by naming the Nobbly Bobbly, and I didn't even come up with that. I merely named it after an ice cream. Right then, I think we shall leave it to that. Before you go, would you like a complimentary copy of this book I wrote? Greta's Guide to Cross-Species Friendship. Ooh, that could be useful. What exactly does that teach me? Call for backup. Causes your familiar to act 2 additional times. That could be useful. The book is pretty woo-woo, but you have to admit that it creates warm feelings in your heart towards your familiars. Now it's time to exploit their warmth and kindness. There's an appendix in the back full of trust exercises. You're not entirely sure that you've got the energy for that now. If you do, it will cause your familiar to act an additional time. That could be useful, but I'm not entirely sure I can be bothered with the with spending the XP for that. So we shall leave that to one side. What's the applies poison to a random enemy? Yeah, I don't like the fact that it's random rather than me being allowed to decide it. But yeah, that might come in handy for something or other. I see I've got this wide variety of random things, living things more specifically, in my pocket. I'm really sure I should be keeping a bird, a turtle, and a snake together. I feel like they're quite likely to eat each other, but never mind. We've got sort of 10 minutes left. I might not go quite as long as normal this week because my voice is getting rather hoarse. But we shall say this again. How many bloody bowls of salad does one man need? For crying out loud, this is unpleasant. Why is it undulating? There's a huge withering mass of fungus. Must be the reason they call this place Mushroom Mountain. Pulls them off and fight it. If anything is required right now, it is a snake. Kitty, it's like the old snake briefcase from West of Loathing. Right then, yeah, I can use that to heal myself. By 6. Oh, that still requires an AP point. Oh, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Never mind. Let's begin as we always do with our classic opening. We must keep the audience familiar with the beginning of the show or something rubbish. I don't know. We are going to get poked. That's extremely unpleasant. On a great many levels. That was extremely effective on a great many levels. Right, now we're going to murder members of the cast of the new Mario movie. You've reduced the amount of fungus in the mountain by a small amount, but there's still a lot of fungus remaining. Is this ever actually... Is this just an opportunity... What the son are you? You very tall gentleman. He's a poisoner. He intends to spew spores at you, poisoning everybody for 3 damage. This is less than optimal. Is this just an opportunity for me to have like an infinite combat source, which would be very useful? Oh, that's what that funny rain was that was going on last time. That was a... Would you please stop doing that? That's most disturbing. I suppose I'll shoot you again, because you need... Oh. It's just sitting there. When it's destroyed, it will poison your entire team for 6. Ah. That's not brilliant. But never mind. I guess if we kill it... If we kill it as the last enemy, and then it causes enough damage in order to kill me, does that mean I lose? Oh no, because it just applies 6 levels of poison, not 6 damage. Derp brain. Okay, so yeah, this is an opportunity for me to earn little bits of XP and get items and stuff. Which is keep at it. I can't just farm the combat the way that we could in West of Loathing, because this is going up by a very diminishing thing. This thing really does increase at a decreasing rate. This is most mysterious. Okay then. Yeah, with the degradation of the weapons, you won't be able to just farm combat forever. Which perhaps is why they've included that, in order to address some of the concerns around that. Okay then, let us try and decurse the compass, I suppose, because I'm a bit sick of all this infernal salad. Use it with the compass in both hands. As the machine whirs and whines and shakes around you, the machine, you feel, is frustrated. Some internal mechanism is swinging wildly and frantically, and then crack. It figures out whatever it needed to, and with no more curse, not in the compass anymore, it still points to the old north, so it's practically useless. Oh. Excellent. The compass curse is now transfixed in the uncursing machine. Dare you protect your consciousness inside? That's a final thing for this week. I suppose that seems vaguely sort of weird. Who am I? I am this grim-hatted gentleman. Are we on a baseball field? Judging by our hats? Hello, friend. Gosh, that looks sore. He also looks slightly dead, but never mind. You don't seem very happy. This is madness. That foolhardy coach is going to get us all killed. What do you think we should do? Let's go over here. Go home. Don't you think things were fine just the way they were? Why are we doing this? I mean, playing baseball? Which you did in the iPad is a nervous chuckle. Yeah, right. Okay, I shall see you later then. Presumably you're the coach. You seem like a military badge, judging by your hat. I'm disgusted it's come to this. We all know you're the weak link on the team. Some would say the team accountant shouldn't even be allowed on the field. Frankly, I agree. You tell me. You tell me. Did Phil make a mistake? Recording was still this ill? Yes. Yes, he did. Did all my years of including you in the team lunches and bupes make you into a baseball player? No, I'm an accountant. That's all I'll ever be, you muppet. That's rubbish. That's baseball the dash. Your destiny's out there in the diamond sun. Go hit it into the parking lot. Why do you wear that silly looking hat? Nothing silly about it, it's a cloche. The coach's cloche. 'Tis traditional. Okay, do you think Marabella will ever marry me? I cannot answer that, son. What I can tell you is Marabella has married every World Series MVP since the series was first contested in 1903. You work out the rest. Doesn't sound like it'll last very long. You look at all of these people seem to be slightly dead, but never mind. Yeah. Oh. I'm getting hit in the face with things. I suppose I should sit here. I mean, I hit something. I don't know where it went. I did hit that one. Giddy up. Who? Do I need to be like pointed in the right direction for this? This is rather difficult. I'm going to have a slightly increased degree of respect for baseball players. At least they know which direction the bloody thing comes from. Okay, this is ridiculous. I'm a bit rubbish at this. Okay, no, please stop doing that. Their minds seem to be broken by basketball, baseball even. What's with these compasses? My swing won't connect with them. I know it must be overwhelming. All I can tell you is to stay calm and remember that in baseball it's all about what you do hit. Why is the other team getting points when I swing? That's baseball, son. If the other team ever feels physically intimidated, that's an immediate 5-point penalty. Then how am I supposed to win at all? Quit gabbing and get out of here. Don't you know leaving the field to talk to the coach is a 10-point penalty? Oh, for crying out loud. Okay, presumably I do have to sort of win this game then, one way or another. Which is going to prove to be real difficult. Particularly since I don't know how to hit things that are above me, and I don't know how to earn any points. I think I have managed to... There we are, I managed to bounce a few away. I have... Okay, I thought I realised they were coming on a certain sort of time interval, and it was just a case of learning the sequence, but I don't think that's accurate. I don't think that's accurate in the slightest. I don't seem to be able to win anything here. I was never good at sports. It may shock you to learn that I was never much of a sportsman. As a child, or an adult, or anything else for that matter. I don't know what else I've been other than an infant, but never mind. I am really bad at this game. I'm trying my best. It's really difficult to see what direction it's coming from with the rain. I'm just really bad at this. Do I have to... Crying out loud, you can do it one at a time, fellas. Okay, now they're firing two at once. This just isn't fair. Presumably I have to just sort of wait here until they accrue a certain number of points, and then eventually they'll just decide that they've won so much that they can just go home and we can leave, and then that can be the end of life. At least I'm beginning to understand why everybody else in this place has thoroughly given up. Right. Well, I am utterly befuddled. What I think I might do... What I think I might do is leave, and next week, when I come back to play this, I will go back onto the field, and I will sit there for a while and see if I can figure out how to win. And then in the end, once I figured out how to win it, we'll then start the episode up. Wasn't too much of an ordeal, I suppose. It could have been worse. There were some horrid fairies. Wait, no, don't just help me. Just uncurse that thing and then get some rest. I think the next artifact is a book. I'll have noted it down by morning. Okay, that sounds good. I do want to get the curse sorted out before we go to bed, though. So, for the sake of my hoarse throat, I am going to say that we'll leave it there for this evening. So that was quite an eventful evening. It involved an awful lot more mining, which I suppose is suitable for this channel, and a lot more shrooms, which I don't think is at all suitable for this channel. But at least we solved the mystery of the this. And and oh, I know what we should do. One quick final thing. We should go to the boardwalk and get my photograph taken wearing my latest hats. A man on the street does a big theatrical double take as you pass. Just wanted to get another look at you. Hey, how's the weather up there? Up there? You're taller than me. Up on the property ladder. Almost can't see you up there. What are you talking about? I live in the back room of an antique store. Gee whiz, well I hope to join you in the antique storeroom on my own soon enough, but a fellow like me got to sell if he wants to get onto the property ladder. Luckily, the product I got nearly sells itself. Nearly? I do have to put in a little legwork, yes. It's a paperclip. Bam! It's a paperclip. Is it ever? I don't know if I need a paperclip right now. I needed one yesterday to open a SIM card tray, but other than that... Keeps your documents from flying off into the wind, and I guess it keeps your nose secure against wild odors. Okay, I'll buy one. Why not? What possible use does this serve? Increases the target's stench armor by 3. Oh, okay. From multinational treaties to 4th grade homework assignments, the humble paperclip has dutifully girded our shelves since whatever the humble paperclip was invented. Goodness only knows when that was. Do I detect a change in humidity? I must be chasing up the property ladder. You didn't tell me the weather was this nice. Right, never mind. You're reminding me of how low on that particular little ladder I am myself and how miserable that makes me. Right then, let me put on some more silly hats. Let me see, I have a mining hat to wear. Let me put this on. I am a working man. Yes, indeed. A mining hat. Perfect. I love it. Indeed. I do wish you made some, slightly more comments. I feel like he makes the same sort of comment every time, and that makes me sad. What about this big silly lucky hat thing that's got a golden brim on it? Yeah, yes, indeed. Well, okay, this isn't as entertaining as I thought, and the fact that this site does not end up being 3 miles wide is also rather saddening. But never mind. Did I have any other hats? I feel like I've had all the others. Okay, then I reckon we're I still can't go in here, can I? No. Okay, then I reckon that's about it for this week. So thank you very much for joining me this evening, ladies and gentlemen. Molly notices a tin can scattered in the alleyway and stops suspecting which will be pyramid. Let's do some bean shooting practice. Every little bit helps, and my trigger finger's getting itchy. So maybe we shouldn't be shooting guns in the middle of the city. Oh, baloney! It's it's a tick. Well, quite. The fuss here ain't worth a plunged nickel, so who else is going to raise a beef when we're clearly healed? I'll take your word for it as soon as I figure out what your words mean, and I must admit I haven't actually seen any police officers in this place, so perhaps I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay then. Yes, I think that's about enough for this week, so I apologise if my voice sounded a little off, and also for the break in the series last week, but thank you very much for joining this evening, ladies and gentlemen. Look after each other, and good night.